Lately, I've been focusing less on doing what they say I can't do and more on doing whatever the hell I want.
There's nothing that feels better than this moment.
At the time, I didn't know they were booing him doing that. I thought that they were booing me.
The hundreds or thousands of dumb ideas that I've had are what led me to my good ideas. You have to give yourself permission to fail.
Taylor Swift is a force to be reckoned with. Love her or hate her, you have to acknowledge her incredible talent, skill, work ethic, and dedication to her music. I believe that there's a lot that we can learn, especially as content creators, from Taylor Swift. I've been all up in all things Taylor the last few weeks, as I did go to her Eras tour here in Los Angeles. It was so much fun. It was an incredible performance. But I'll be the first to admit that I was not necessarily a Swiftie or Taylor fan before going to the concert. I got lucky that I have friends going. I was able to get a ticket. I just wasn't super familiar with Taylor and her music. But in going to the Eras tour and doing a deep dive on her content and her music and her music videos, watching her documentaries, I've really come to appreciate who Taylor Swift is. I think there's so many things that we can learn from her. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you lessons that we can take away from Taylor Swift's career in music and that we as content creators, specifically here on YouTube, can take away. So if you like Taylor, and even if you don't, you're going to learn something from this video. Stay tuned. So one of the things that I always talk about with my students and coaching clients is creating from authentic alignment. That is probably the most important component of my bootcamp. That's like the phase 1 of my bootcamp is all about creating from authentic alignment and how to figure out what that is for yourself. With Taylor, at a very young age, she knew that music was her thing. Country music was her thing. She was made fun of at a young age for just her incredible love for country music. She would beg her parents to take her to Nashville, and she would drop off CDs of her music to the different record producers there. She was always acting out of authentic alignment. She knew that's what she wanted to do. And I think there's a lot to be admired for that. For those of us here on YouTube, we could take a page out of her book there. I think a lot of times we get caught up in the views and the subscribers and this and making money and all that, which is all important. However, none of that is going to come unless you're truly aligned with what you're doing here on YouTube. Why? Because people want to see somebody who is so certain in themselves and what they do. And with Taylor, when we watch her, we are so in awe of just her passion and her magnetism. And that all comes from her just being super in alignment. She's living her life's purpose every single day. And how lucky to be able to do that. How lucky to be someone like Taylor Swift, where every day you are living and walking in alignment with your true purpose. But the rest of us can have that as well. That's what's amazing about YouTube. Prior to when YouTube was really a thing, it was more difficult to be able to explore passions and hobbies and have other people appreciate it. There weren't these platforms. You literally would have to move to Nashville or move to New York or LA, and you needed connections and all that. Here with YouTube, you just need to have a talent, a dream, motivation, be in alignment, and start creating content from that. I never in a million years thought I would be helping YouTube creators, that I'd be a YouTube producer. I never, ever would have thought that. But here I am doing this. And it wouldn't be possible without YouTube. While Taylor is, you could say, quote unquote, lucky for just really knowing exactly what that alignment is for her at a young age. She had the talent for it. We can all share in that same, maybe not the level of success that she has, but our version of it, and live in alignment and see what comes from that. That's what people want to watch. That's what people gravitate towards. That's what people follow. Why would someone want to follow you if you're not in alignment and you're not living your life's purpose? Lesson number 2 is shake it off. Shake it off. As Taylor Swift says in her really popular song, haters gonna hate. Shake it off. Shake it off. We all know that Taylor has her fair share of haters. She's had them her entire career. She even had a hashtag Taylor Swift is over party.
Hashtag Taylor Swift is over party was the #1 trend on Twitter worldwide. Do you know how many people have to be tweeting that they hate you for that to happen?
And I've been doing this for 15 years and I'm tired of it. I'm just tired of the... Just feels like it's more than music now at this point. And just most days I'm like, okay. But then sometimes I'm just like, it just gets loud sometimes.
Imagine a hashtag of thousands and thousands of people saying that they just want you to go away. I mean, my God, to have to deal with that, that's not fun. And everything that happened between her and Kanye West, and she's had other beefs with celebrities. I mean, she has definitely had her own fair share of haters. Did she allow that to stop her? No. And like she said in her song, shake it off, shake it off. Because going back to number one, she's so aligned with her purpose, she's not going to let anybody take her power, even if it's Kanye West, one of the most successful people in the music industry. Did it make her sad? Yes. Did it have an impact on her? Yes, of course. But did it stop her? No.
So echoey in there. At the time, I didn't know they were booing him doing that. I thought that they were booing me. For someone who's built their whole belief system on getting people to clap for you, the whole crowd booing is a pretty formative experience.
She kept going and making more music and more music. And look at her now. She's probably making more money than anybody else in the music industry. Imagine if she allowed what happened with Kanye, or even the hashtag Taylor is over party. Imagine if she allowed that to stop her from continuing to make music. She wouldn't have this Eras tour. She wouldn't have all those incredible albums that those of us that like her music enjoy. She'd be doing her entire audience of millions and millions and millions and millions of people a humongous disservice because she let somebody else take her power. And that's the exact same thing that you should be thinking yourself. Why would you, in a sea of dozens of comments, focus on the one comment or two or three, okay, five, okay, big deal, comments that are talking crap about you and that are telling you to go away, when you've got thousands of views or maybe hundreds of views and many, many other positive comments? Why would you allow that person to have power over you to maybe not upload that next video or to just quit altogether? I mean, how foolish and how unaligned with your purpose would that be? These haters are meaningless. They mean nothing to you, and they should not mean anything to you because they don't matter in the grand scheme of your divine purpose, your dharma. None of that matters. If you have a purpose, just like Taylor, nothing's going to stop you. And so take a page from Taylor's book and shake it off. Shake it off. So one of the things I did in preparing for the concert was I watched the Netflix Miss Americana documentary, which I thought was really, really entertaining and awesome to watch and get to know Taylor a little bit better. And there was a scene in there that I thought was so memorable and impactful. And it was a scene where she's sitting on a couch by herself. I mean, obviously she had an entire camera crew there, on the phone, talking, I'm assuming her manager or somebody, waiting to hear the results of the Grammy nominations. And I don't remember what album it was. It was a Reputation album. And forgive me if I'm not correct in the details there. I'm a big picture person. The details sometimes get fuzzy, but I believe it was a Reputation album. She was waiting to see if she was nominated, and she was not. And it was super fascinating to have an behind the scenes look into her reaction to that. She was almost stoic in a way, just like taking it in. Obviously, it impacted her. It was sad, but her response was just like, it gives me chills even.
You are not nominated.
Oh, okay. It's, this is good. This is fine.
Yeah, and it's very similar. Everything is like this, you know, it's so weird. I said
This is, you know what? Like, this is fine. This is, I just need to make a better record.
Well, Reputation is a great record.
No, I'm making a better record.
I just need to make a better album. That's it. I'm just going to make a better album. I'm not going to wallow. I'm not going to sit here and be sad. I'm just going to make a better album. Not being nominated for the top recognition in her industry didn't slow her down. It actually sped her up. It actually motivated her to say, you know what? I'm just going to do better next time. There's going to be a next time, and I'm going to do it. I mean, boom. If we could all take that approach to our content in our YouTube channels and our YouTube videos, I'll just make a better video. I'll make a better video. I mean, who's to say that Reputation album wasn't a good video? That's what's so incredible about this whole thing, is that was an incredible album. That was an incredible album. She didn't say, oh, but I put my heart and soul into it and this and that. It's like, well, I'm just going to do it again. I'm going to do it again. Because a lot of us are so precious about our content. But I worked so hard on this video. I worked so hard on it. I did this and I did that. And it's like, well, are you going to quit because it didn't do well? Or are you going to just do something? Are you going to do it again? When a video doesn't perform well, get back on the horse. Do it again. Even if you put your heart and soul into the last one. That's a lesson. The next lesson is ideas. One of the things that Taylor Swift does and is famous for is her storytelling and getting inspiration from her entire life to bring into her music. Taylor doesn't let a single experience go to waste. I mean, the running joke is that, you know, if you're going to date Taylor Swift, you got to know that she's going to make a song about you.
Could you not write songs about us?
They say that when we're breaking up, and they're like, you better not write a song about this. And I'm like, oh, I won't. And then I do.
Every experience is fair game to her for her music. This is a simple lesson. It's just that ideas are all around you. Ideas everywhere. And a lot of people lose sight. They think the ideas are going to come the second they're going to sit down and write down the ideas for the next video. Ideas are all around you. You got to open your mind, open your heart, open your spirit to all the ideas. Be open. Be open. Be like an open vessel for those ideas to come forth. Be like Taylor, and don't let any experience go to waste. Use it all. Use all of it. I can't tell you the number of people that I work with, because I work with people in my boot camp and my clients, and they're talking, and we're on like a coaching call, like a group call, and be like, oh, well, you know, I did this and did this and did this and did that, and I just can't, you know, I had this one video and it didn't do good, and now I don't know what to do. I'm like, you literally just gave me 6 video ideas. I did? Yes. Do a video on that. Oh, I didn't think about that. But isn't that so basic? No, it's basic to you because you've lived it, you've experienced it, maybe you're beyond it, but that's new information for people. A lot of people need to know that, or they would love to know that. A lot of times I think the topics and things are too close to them, and that's why they like me to kind of point things out and like, what about this? Oh, could that be a video? Yeah, 100% it could be a video. And it's almost like I'm giving them permission, like, yeah, do a video on that. Yeah, do a video on that. Yeah, do a video on that. Just give yourself permission to take inspiration from all over your life. Taylor has an incredible quote about fear, and I think her perspective on fear is spot on for creators. I'm going to read it here because I don't have it memorized. She says, to me, fearless is not the absence of fear. It's not being completely unafraid. To me, fearless is having fears. Fearless is having doubts. Lots of them. To me, fearless is living in spite of those things that scare you to death. And here's a lesson. Feel the fear and do it anyway. Your dreams, your goals are on the other side of that fear. There are so many things that could have stopped Taylor from pursuing her career. And she admits, I have those fears. I have them. They're there. Fearless isn't not having fears. Fearless is having those fears and doing it despite those fears. Like I always say, feel the fear and do it anyways. Fearless is just knowing the fears are there and almost getting comfortable with being afraid, being comfortable with not being comfortable. And that's a huge lesson. She even has an entire album called Fearless. And so obviously that's something that she's passionate about. And I think it probably plays a huge part in her success. And it plays a big part in the success of a lot of content creators on YouTube. And so know that it's okay that you're afraid. It's okay. You're just gonna have to move past it. And the last lesson is evolving and changing. As you evolve and change as a person, your content should evolve and change with you. Taylor had a little bit of a dialogue at the end of Miss Americana where she talked about she feels as women, you always have to kind of evolve and change to stay relevant.
After 13 years of constantly feeling like I was misunderstood, knowing that everything that happened was all gonna turn into this moment is fucking awesome. You know, there's this thing people say about celebrities that they're frozen at the age they got famous. And that's kind of what happened to me. I had a lot of growing up to do, just trying to catch up to 29.
So you could look at it from that perspective as a bad thing, but in my eyes, it's like her content and her music has really evolved and changed as she has evolved and changed as an artist and as a woman. And I can't tell you the number of people I work with that they sign on with me with my programs and they're like, I just don't love my content anymore. I feel stuck. I don't love this audience I've grown. I'm not connected to it. But they have a fear of changing things up. But the problem is if you stay in that space that you were in 4 years ago, 5 years ago, where you blew up your channel or started growing your channel and you built that audience there, you're going to lead to burnout, or you're just going to stop altogether. Because if you're not creating from alignment, and that goes with alignment where you're at right now. You might have been in alignment with whatever you were doing 5 years ago or 3 years ago, but you're not in alignment with that anymore, then you can't be doing that. Sometimes you have to evolve. And look at Taylor. She's completely evolved. You don't think it was probably pretty hard for her to go from country music to now pop? And like it could have been a huge mess that blew up in her face. It's like, why are you giving up this incredible like country audience you have, and these people love you, and you got all these Grammys, and you're gonna now go into pop? You might destroy everything you created. But imagine if she didn't do that. Maybe she'd not even be doing her thing at all. I doubt that, because Taylor is who she is, and that's why she's so successful. Maybe she would have stayed in country and had a very successful country career, but she probably wouldn't be anywhere nearly as universally successful as she is today, performing all over the world. I think her concerts have grossed like over $1 billion. What they call it, the Taylor economics or something. Like she has her own economy now, like helping the economy. This is a massive impact that she has. And imagine if she would have lived in that fear and not evolved and changed. That's another great lesson, is to, as you evolve and change, your content should really reflect that. So those are the 6 big lessons that you can take away from Taylor Swift. And I love looking at successful people and seeing what can we learn from them. What can we learn from their mistakes? I did a video actually about Jaclyn Hill on this exact topic. And what can we learn about what they've done and what they've accomplished? What can we learn about their just natural tendencies? Maybe for some of us, we have to work a little bit harder than Taylor to figure out, okay, what are we in alignment for? But it doesn't change the fact that it's important to be creating from alignment. I hope you enjoy this. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on everything I talked about. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next one.